Let's get this out of the way up front. This is not one of those light and fluffy anime reviews where we complain about pastel skies and too much soft focus. This is a real human story, harrowing, heartbreaking, and ultimately inspiring, and you're about to watch it unfold in Kidnapped Elizabeth Smart, the new Netflix documentary dropping January 21st. This isn't true crime voyeurism. It's not a flashy dramatization with jump scares and soundtrack symbols. It's Elizabeth Smart telling her own story in her own words with her family, investigators, and people who were there. It's archival footage, intimate testimony, and reflections on the psychological and emotional impact, not just surface horror or what happened. Fair warning though, this carries a TVMA mature audiences rating due to the discussions of sexual violence, psychological trauma, and real-world suffering. This is heavy stuff, guys, not Netflix background noise. Here's the basic plot in case you didn't know or you haven't heard about this one. On June 5th, 2002, a 14-year-old girl, Elizabeth Smart, was taken from her Salt Lake City bedroom in the dead of night while her younger sister pretended to sleep or was told to sleep. Her kidnappers were Brian David Mitchell, a self-stylized or styled prophet with a warped worldview, and Wanda Baris, his adult accomplice. Both used manipulation, religious pretense to control her, and for 9 months Elizabeth was held captive, denied freedom, and subjugated to repeated abuse. Unlike dramatizations you might have seen on Lifetime or elsewhere, here we hear from Elizabeth herself, not actors, not reconstructions, and not third-party narrators. And she talks about what it really felt like to live through it. This alone elevates this documentary from cold crime recap to inner emotional journey that you feel every emotional beat. It's a one and done, but it's harrowing one and done. There's a strange clash between the calm familiarity of Netflix's presentation and the raw human reality of what you're hearing. Think of it like this. If a horror movie tries to make you feel fear by building atmosphere, this documentary makes you feel empathy by building trust. It's chilling, but not because of gore, but because it's too real. And because Elizabeth's right there with you in the story, walking through each part with honesty, there is an authenticity to how they do it. The documentary also includes interviews with her family and investigators, showing how the search unfolded and what they did to refuse to give up even when the police were going or telling them to do opposite to what they did. Frustrating again with the law. You might have even encountered what she wrote about in the book. There's been movies and scripted earlier documentaries, but this is the first time she's been in front center of her own documentary, narrating the memories and emotions and perspective that no dramatization can really fully capture. When it comes from the person, you understand the plight that they're going through, and it was very real that way. The personal lens turns what could have been a cold retelling of this story to an exploration of fear and survival, shame and healing, real psychological aftermath, and the ongoing work of helping others. Yes, she founded the Elizabeth Smart Foundation to advocate for survivors, and that work gets contextualized here as well. You might be tempted to ask yourself as well while watching this, why revisit a nightmare that ended decades ago? Because what happened to Elizabeth didn't vanish when she was found. It reverberated. This documentary doesn't exploit the pain, it reframes it, the narrative from a crime that shocked the world to a life that kept going and growing and fighting back. That's a great story to tell. It's heavy and you should feel its weight, but it has a good message in the undermath. So many of these documentaries kind of just want to showcase the shock value of what was going on. This doc is for you if you want the victim's voice first, if you're ready to engage emotionally that way, not just intellectually. It's a true crime with empathy that matters to you. Won't be recommending this though if you want a light casual watch, or if you're under 18 due to the subject matter, or if you're not prepared for those difficult sexual topics that they talk about at moments. So fair warning. This is not entertainment, it's bearing witness, and it's one of the most human, gripping, and grounding documentaries I've seen for a while. The documentary filmmakers have done really well with this. I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5 Nicolas Cages. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.
I guess we're not going to be leaving now, right?
I'm sorry, Newt.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.